Hello, friends. Hello, and welcome to yet another episode of the show. We are here today to do a little do some cards. So if you are listening, you'll be listening. If you're listening on the podcast, you'll be listening with your master ears. And if you're watching, I decided today to give a little FaceTime to my YouTube friends. And I'm showing you've got all the cards here on the tray, all the decks I'm going to be using. Can't really hold it up or else they're going to fall off. But we'll be using all these decks today. What I'm going to be doing is first a general read to try to suss out what we most need to know in this now for everyone. It's like a collective reading. And then we'll do pick a card and let you pick a pile for a even more personal message. So I want to thank all of you for joining me here. If you're new, settle in for all the juicy goodness. If you're returning, thank you so much for joining me here yet again. I love you very much. Besame mucho. What's this coming through? If you're not familiar with me, then, either you vibe with me or you don't. And if you are, then you know that I kind of leave it open. Although I am inviting in, as I set out these decks in a certain way, I want to do this, try to do this in a certain way. I am, first of all, getting us set up in sacred space. Because it's not just me giving, here's our board, it's not just me giving you messages. You have to be open and receptive to hear the messages that are being given. And so in order to do that, you also have to be in a receptive state. So, just looking at my little mic monitor here. Let's take a deep breath together. One more. Inviting in the guides who overlight this show as I wrap us all in love light and light love. Archangel Michael and Archangel Metatron in the house. As well as whoever else might want to pop in. Got our candle, our little pink. There's a lot going on here. I am recording this, I don't know what is it. Today is January 23rd. We've got a pink candle. These roses wanted to come in. His neck. He's so old. He really needs to have if anybody knows somebody who redoes like old, he's not that old. Actually, he is kind of old. He's like 14 years old. But his little stuffing needs to be redone. Poor little guy. Our heart. And I've brought in this adventuring little double terminated today. And back here we have all sorts of other stuff that may want to pop in. The love cup. And if you know me, you know I don't necessarily jump in right away to reading. I kind of want to get a sense for, let's just see if there's anyone else joining us here. The Pleiadians just came in and said, Pleiadians in the house. So Pleiadians are here. All right, this little flute. Sometimes the music just, okay, I want to leave it, but not so loud. Pleiadians in the house. So the majority of the decks used on my show are my decks, my creations. If you are interested in any of those, then all of them are available at the Game Crafter. You can check out what they look like on my website. There's a playlist on YouTube of flip-throughs of all these decks. The newest one is Pleiadian Power. We're going to be using that. and I'll show you the other ones as we go along. I do want to say, since I'm recording this right now, close to a week or so away from the end of the month, if you are listening to this in January 2022, then I still have my special up for services, a very, very good deal, buy one, get one free service. So if you purchase a service from me, so any of my services, all the services are on my website. The link is in the show notes. We've got Shaman's Drum, we've got Pleiadian Power Boards, we've got a Rainbow Multidimensional Healing session. We have some card reading sessions. So if you're looking for something that's not so in-depth, but more of just a reading rather than a healing and all the multidimensional, like light language. We do light language activations. We do shamanic healing. We do all sorts of stuff. This month is still buy one, get one free. So purchase a session, get the same session or equal or lesser value for free. You can use that next one whenever you want, or you can gift it to somebody else. So I would definitely take advantage of that. I mean, come on. An hour session with me is $222 for the multidimensional healing. So if you bought the $222, you'd actually be getting two. If you wanted 2 sessions of 222, the 222 sessions, we'd be getting one of those for free. So that's pretty amazing. So that'd be like that's like half off. And then that's the highest tier, and then they go down from there. So I would definitely check those out. We may read from some books, although I like to do that on the shorts. So I don't know. Let's see, what is this about? So I went out this morning, and I'm trying to get better at like giving and receiving, like being better in the flow of giving and receiving, giving and receiving. So this morning I went out and I bought a bunch of like stuff that I really was just like calling to me, like just little things like hat and some gloves, stuff that like I really needed, but I just been putting off. Kind of like, no, I don't really need a new pair of pajamas, kind of thing. And I was like, oh, these are so cool. And I bought a bunch of them, and I'm like, okay, now to give back, I want to do a video for you guys, for those of you that might need to be hearing certain messages right now for your own self. So there may be some healing coming in. There may be some light language coming in. So let's see what the Pleiadians want to say. This is our general. This is for everybody, this first part. One card fell out. Oh, what we were just talking about. So this is pink. What does it say? I always forget. Pink flower fairy with light language. Receive. See, this is what we're talking about. Learning to get better at receiving. So I want to talk about this for just a second, and I think there's only one card right here right now for a reason. So I thought like, oh, I'm open to receiving. Like, sure, why not? And I watched a little video with my teacher the other day, and he was like, you people on the spiritual path, I'm paraphrasing him, but he was like, you're all about giving. You earth angels are all about giving and giving. And you don't want to, and you're not so good at receiving, or you have maybe unconscious blocks to receiving. And I was like, it's not me. I don't have any unconscious blocks to receiving. I mean, come on. My chakras, he's like, the 2 chakras that have to do with that the most, where that flow happens, are the solar plexus and the heart chakra. And if there's any sort of block between the two, then they're not kind of and look at this shirt, they're not like in perfect harmony and perfect balance. And I was like, whatever, okay. But I always trust my guides, like, right, they brought me to this video for a reason. And so it was a healing that he did and a clearing. And when we did it, I was like, let's play with this as an experiment and let's see what happens, like if there's any blocks here, right? So whatever clearing happened, I felt like a huge, it was almost like a belt had been cinched really tightly between the solar plexus and the heart. And now I want you guys to do this with me. And even if you're listening, you can do this too. We're going to measure the baseline energy of your solar plexus versus your heart chakra to get a sense of if there is an imbalance, or maybe they're perfectly balanced in terms of how wide each of, or we're kind of measuring them in terms of like a width between our hands. So let's just brush off your hands like you're brushing off dust or crumbs or something like that, and use your thumb to press into each of your palms. And just envision yourself in front of yourself. We've done this, if you're new here, follow along, but if you're not, we've done this before, but just in your mind's eye, like vision yourself standing in, like a little you standing in front of yourself. And you're going to hold your hands out with your palms facing each other, because we're going to be moving our hands inward towards the center, closer, you know, like we're hugging a tree or whatever. And the first thing you're going to say is, say it along with me, you're going to say, my solar plexus chakra. And what you're doing is you put your hands out wide and start bringing them slowly together towards each other until you feel like a pushback of energy or whatever you feel, or a pressure, whatever. So you can get a baseline of the size of your solar plexus chakra, right? So I don't know, whatever it is for you. So you may find that it's, just notice where it's at. Let's just say that to begin with. Just notice where it's at. Now, you're going to move your hands up a little bit, and you're going to say, my heart chakra. And you're going to do the exact same thing, and you're going to see where your hands stop. Now, are they kind of equally distant, like this, the solar plexus and the heart? Or did you see, like, it's okay if they're like slightly off, but if you have like a really like tiny solar plexus and a large heart chakra, chances are there are some blocks to being able to receive. And because your heart is very big and giving and loving, but as part of the function of the solar plexus chakra, it also has to do with being receptive and receiving. And so if that's a lot smaller, then chances are there's blocks in that chakra to being receptive, and that's to anything. So I think where this pick a card is going to go is kind of, what are you blocking yourself from receiving? And then we're going to do, we'll do some healing here in a little bit too, depending on the pile. If you're flipped the other way around, I don't think anybody watching this is going to be inverted the other way, but who knows? I mean, chakras change constantly. Energy centers change. If something's going on in your life, it's possible that your solar plexus is really large and your heart is kind of small. I just don't think anybody watching. I think everybody watching this is like the other way around. Otherwise, this receive card would not have come out. And you'll notice, if for those of you listening, the receive card is like a big yellow background, and it's got purple, which is like the crown chakra, which we are going to bring energy down through and do some healing there. But chances are everybody here is that giant heart chakra, very giving and loving, but somewhere, even subconsciously, because that's kind of what it was for me. I was like, oh, Pisha, I don't need this. I don't need a healing to be receptive. I'm receptive. And then when I felt all that stuff release, which that's what we're going to do here in a little bit. When I felt all that stuff release, I was like, oh, okay, maybe not. So let's first, there's these little bugs there. They're all around my house. They're like flying in my face. Let's do the healing first for everybody, so that everybody gets the same healing. So I'm going to repeat it 3 times. And then we're going to draw, we're going to do a pick a pile to see where you're blocking yourself, what you're being blocked from receiving. This could even be like past life stuff, because stuff lives in these chakras. All this past life, like stuff that needs to be healed, lives in a particular chakra. And it was the crown and the solar plexus that had to do with blocks, and a little bit of the root that had to do with receiving. So let's do this healing. I'm going to do light language. I'm going to do this to so let's take a deep breath. Now, the only way this works is if you're receptive. You have to be receptive to the healing, right? So if you are not in a receptive mode to get the healing, then nothing's really going to happen. And then you have to follow through with the guidance that's going to be given in these pick a cards. So let's close our eyes. Everybody close your eyes. Let's take a deep breath. I'm going to let the guides just step in within and around us. This is also going to be a shamanic type healing. So this is all the same kind of stuff we might do with you if you were coming to a private client session, although those are audio sessions. You're not physically there in front of me. All right. So the purpose of this session is to release any blocks, subconscious, conscious, past life blocks in the chakras. And what you can do as your eyes are closed is see yourself in front of yourself. Just see yourself sitting there, however you want to, facing you, away from you, under you, on top of you, I don't know. But ask yourself, just say, where are my blocks to being receptive and to receiving? And you might see them as gray clouds or dark spots on a particular chakra. You could picture your chakras like energy wheels or even like flowers, almost like different colored sunflowers where the middle part are all the little pods. And those could be, you may see dark spots there. But the goal is to release those. First, I'm going to bring in some light language to open up the crown. And you have a job to do during this part of the session. So I want you to hold your hands up, facing outwards away from you. And I want you to imagine someone you love very much in front of you. Take a deep breath into your heart space. And I want you to hold up your hands and be aware of your heart and send through your hands beautiful pink light. Shower and feel how much you love that person or that place or that animal or that whatever it is in front of you. Shower it, whatever it is, with beautiful pink light, like blanket and envelop it and saturate it with pink light. Just hold your hands up and keep sending that loving energy while I bring some light language in. Now, I want you to put your hands down on your lap with your palms up. We're bringing in power animals again to help us with this clearing. So you may know who your power animal is. You may not want a power animal. You may want your guardian angel or something to come in. So whoever you're most comfortable with as a guide, trust all our guides, but just whichever guide that you have you feel like you have the best relationship with, invite that guide in. And if you don't have a guide, then one will be provided for you. One will come in to help you. They'll make themselves known to you. Now take a deep breath and repeat after me, I'm fully, completely, deeply, gratefully letting go of what is blocking me from receiving. Again, I fully, deeply, gratefully, am letting go, joyfully letting go of anything that is blocking me from receiving. Power animals or your guardian angel or guide are starting to do their work to sweep away and gather anything that is blocking you, any of these energy blocks. Let's repeat that one more time. I'm fully, deeply, gratefully, joyfully letting go of anything, of everything that is blocking me from receiving. Your guides may have to go in kind of deep into some of these chakras. So to assist them with that, I'm going to open up these energy centers even further with some more light language. Just be receptive. Just be very still. If you feel like moving, don't move, because the energy goes in deeper if you can stay as still as you possibly can. What you can focus on while you're receiving this healing energy is take a deep breath and bring some loving pink energy from your heart up to your crown, past your crown, to a beautiful ball or star of light about 6 inches or so above your crown. And try as best you can to either focus on that star, even if you can't see it, completely see it, that's okay. Or you can even see yourself going inside that star and exploring around and what's in there. And keep your focus. So bring that loving energy from your heart up, up, take a deep breath, up to your crown, past your crown, and into that beautiful starry light. Just stay there in that star while I bring this light language in. Your guides are going to do an even deeper clearing. See yourself immersed, saturated, your entire being saturated in a shower of beautiful golden light. Keep your attention above your crown. Stay very still. Your guides are still working on removing these energies. They'll let me know when they're done. Take a deep breath. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Just come back into your body. Let's give thanks. So repeat after me. I gratefully, deeply accept all these loving, healing energies, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, etherically, financially, with deep love and gratitude. So be it, and so it is. Okay, now you can open your eyes whenever you're ready. Let's do these pick-up piles. Shuffle the cards together. If you want to bypass this, you can go straight to your pile if you'd like. But we're going to first bring out, some people like to watch. I'll tell you what's coming out here. I'll show you your piles. Oh, we can't go to your pile yet. Well, I guess you can. It doesn't matter. Okay, this is pile 1. It's got 2 Pleiadian power cards. How many piles are there going to be? There's going to be 2. Oh, there's only going to be 2 piles. Pile 2 has 3 cards of Pleiadian power. All right, what's next? I'm going to do Shaman's Drum. So Shaman's Drum is next. So this is, again, what am I being blocked from receiving? One is pile 1. Oh, pile 1 has 2 cards, and pile 2 has 1 card. I'll show you the piles in a minute. I just did say that, didn't I? Twin Hearts. So we're going to use Twin Hearts. This is my deck. Pile 1. What do people from pile 1 need to know? It's got 1 card, and people from pile 2, you got 2 cards. We're going to use my homemade deck, the Labyrinth of Dragonshire. People from pile 1 need to know. 1 card came out, and people from pile 2, 2 cards. This is interesting. It's like 1 card, 2 cards. 1 card, 2 cards in a sense. Happy Cloud. There's some Happy Cloud up on here. What do people from pile 1 need to know? 1 card. This is going to be funny. What do people from pile 2 need to know? Oh, you got a whole, oh my gosh. You got 6 cards. Am I missing something? TLC for the soul. People from pile 1 need to know. 2 cards. And people from pile 2, 1 card. And what is this? Modern Witch Tarot. I'll just throw a tarot card on top. I'll actually show you the tarot card along with another little marker that I have. So for pile 1, lots of cards. Oh, ching, mahargita. 3, 6 cards came out, but there's one that I'll flip and show you. And then for pile 2, 1 card came out. All right, so is this pile 1? Oh, let me see. Pile 1, just let it jump. These are my markers. Pile 1's getting this, and pile 2, the top, is getting this. Okay. So, all right. So here's our piles. Here's our two piles. So for pile 1, it's going to be this bloom card. So if you're picking and you're listening, because you may be listening on the podcast, pile 1 has a card that says bloom on it. I'm going to put that in the thumbnail so you can see that. And pile 2, pile 1 had bloom, but you also had the Hanged Man pop up that wanted to be a marker. Or pile 2 has another one of my drawings. This is called Missing You. So she is one of my Flutterby girls. And she is, if you're listening to this, I kind of have to describe it. She's standing kind of with her hands behind her back. And the thing behind her says, is this one that says heart? Heart love. And she's got a little dog that's looking up at her. I'll have to make sure I take really good pictures of all this. All right, so now you can pick your pile. So I'm going to move pile 2 off to the side. I've really got to get comfortable. My feet are falling asleep. Oh, geez. Why is it so hard to be comfortable? All right, using this little adventuring double terminated one. So I'm going to set all the cards out. Maybe I'll use this so that you guys can see some of these. So we already had the Hanged Man and the bloom. So let's tell the story of pile 1 and what you're blocking yourself from receiving. So first they want me to read the tarot cards like a story. So the tarot card, I'm not going to be able to show these to you. The tarot card that came out is the Five of Swords reversed. So I read reversals as the most significant energy that I need to focus on in the reading. I need to stop hitting my mic, rather than like reverse meaning. And then you got the Two of Swords. I'm going to lay them all out like a picture. The Two of Swords, the Seven of Wands, the Six of Swords, and the Judgment card. Now, right away, I do see there's a card. There's a 5, a 6, and a 7. Two of Swords is like our little crossroads. And the Judgment card is some divine order that wants to come through. But you're blocking it. The Five of Swords is kind of like you're blocking it. So moving away... They're having me set it up almost like a past, present, future kind of look. It's like you're blocking something from happening, but you can't see it because you didn't think you were, this is just like me, you didn't think you were blocked. So she's got this blindfold on. So there's like all these things that want to come to you, but you can't receive them because you're subconsciously, in a sense, pushing them away. Even with this Seven of Wands, it's like all these wands want to show up to help, but there she is too in this card. This person in this card has like a yellow mini skirt with like a belt. I'm telling you, this is just like what I said in the intro about having that like energetic belt like tightened around your waist to where you were only letting yourself receive so much. But divine order has come in now. We've done this healing and this clearing. And so you're kind of moving away from that energy of being blocked from receiving. So let's lay out the other cards here. I'm like, that is like what I just said in a nutshell. All these other cards you got to see exactly what's blocked, or what was being blocked, and what has now been healed, and what you will now begin to see start showing up in your life. And this is the experiment that I kind of did with this too, is to see like, well, what the heck, no hurt, and well, obviously want to get rid of all this stuff, but it's like, now let's play this game of being in alignment. Which there is. I actually just sent it to my son. There's an Esther Hicks video called The Alignment Game on YouTube, and it's such an uplifting one. But it's like, well, now let's play the game of what's going to start coming my way that I had subconsciously been blocking myself from all of this time. So the first card we've got from TLC for the Soul is Shadow, card number 14. Success, card number 12. I'm going to lay them all out again, like a little storyline. Happy Cloud, you rock, take a bow. From Labyrinth of Dragonshire, it's a big E, like eating the earth in a sense, but the back of the card is earth, root, ground, solar rays, and inner fire. Twin Hearts is my romance deck. You got I Need to Catch Up to You. It's like she looks like she's a bride, like walking on a, like what is that? Like a suspension bridge, like a rope bridge. And the groom is, you can't even see him. All you see is an arm outstretched and their hands are touching, but she's looking forward. And it's kind of like maybe I say he because it looks like a man's hand, but the other person, it has not energetically caught up to the first person yet. So somebody still has some ascension or healing work to do before they can be in alignment with their partner. From Shaman's Drum, we got Great Spirit. There is something greater that watches over us, ensuring all are safe. You got Fallen Warrior. I love this one. This is that flower, like, what is it called? Like Bleeding Hearts. Yeah. It says, when you feel like you cannot go on, you pick yourself up and begin again. That is the most amazing looking flower. From Pleiadian Power deck, you got the card that says, it's okay. Oh God, we've gotten this card before. It's okay. Things are happening behind the scenes that you can't see right now. Everything will turn out fine. So it's like spirit hands, like coming out of nowhere, like holding this almost like a crystal ball or a pink moon or something. And then there's this little girl crying like a lot of tears. And so you got the, it's okay. Things are happening behind the scenes you can't see. Everything will turn out fine. I want to keep these tarot cards here. And the last card you got is a Pleiadian power message card. It says, a dream is just a dream until you take action. Oh my gosh, you guys know we constantly get this type of card on the show. So what are you blocking? What's coming to you? What's the game of alignment going to bring you? Okay, so what Spirit is saying is don't just think that this one healing is going to be enough, apparently. There's still shadow work to be done. So even though you feel like you've done a whole heck of a lot of work, they're having me pick up the Fallen Warrior card. When you feel like you cannot go on, you pick yourself up and begin again. So you've done a lot of shadow work. You have, and you're to be commended. That's the success. This success card in my TLC for the Soul deck, I always felt like it was like it's a success in a sense having to do with ascension journey, because it's like a mountain, but above it there's like an angel and like a crystal ball in a way. So this is almost like a Three of Cups, like a celebration card, along with from Happy Cloud you've got You Rock, Take a Bow. So you are being commended on all the work that you've done on yourself. You've been doing a lot of shadow work. You've had a lot of success. You've cleared a lot of stuff out. Give yourself a pat on the back for that. Like, obviously don't discount that totally. But don't cry. There's a little bit more work that has to be done. And when I heard that, I actually have heard that myself, and I was like, more work? What more work could there possibly be? So there are still some astrological alignments coming. Every time we turn around, there's astrological alignments. But what you're trying to do, it feels like you, the people that pick this pile, is you are trying to bring yourself into alignment with another person. Hence this card from the Twin Hearts deck, this I need to catch up to you. So you're trying to come into alignment energetically so that you can step up and move forward with this relationship, whatever that is. And I think you felt like you were ready, but now was as a result of just what's going on with some of these retrogrades and stuff. This is timeless, but right now, especially what's going on, you feel like you're back in doing shadow work again, which is why this shadow work card has come out. And you feel like, in a sense, that you've almost taken a step backwards again. And I think you're being a little bit hard on yourself, like, dang it, I've done all this dang work, and how can you tell me still, after all this work, that I'm not in alignment with my person? And Spirit is saying it's okay. That's this okay card. First of all, there's things you can't see right now that are being worked on. So it's not so much that you're not in alignment. You're doing like little bits of shadow work. It's not like a ton of shadow work. It's just stuff. Like, we're going to be doing shadow work till, who knows, probably until we transition. And it's not so much that you're not energetically in alignment. There's these little things that still need to be cleared out, like the stuff we did today. There's some stuff you're still working on, and they're saying that that's a process that you're just going through to clear that stuff. But it's also that the timelines aren't ripe. The timelines aren't ripe yet. So the timelines, the convergence point for you both to be in alignment with each other is not ready yet. It's not here yet. So somewhere you got, where was it? You got the Judgment card. And so behind the scenes, things are still happening, things you can't see, to bring you and this relationship into alignment. And so until then, like, there's nothing you can do about that. So that goes back to that it's okay card. There's nothing you can do about that. All you can do is work on yourself. All you can do is continue doing your shadow work or whatever work it is that you're doing to bring yourself into alignment. It may be that you've got some goals you're working on with this last card, this Pleiadian power message. A dream is just a dream until you take action. So maybe there's still some stuff that you're working on outwardly, like you've got some goals before you and this person or this relationship to come into alignment. Maybe there's other stuff you need to do to get your environment ready, get yourself ready, get your personage, get your personage in alignment. And in the meantime, behind the scenes, heart maps are still being created. Things are still happening to line the timelines up to the point where the convergence point is when you finally come into 3D physical alignment with this other being. And then the last card we didn't really touch on is the rooting, grounding, solar rays, and inner fire, which is, this card always comes out when there's like, when you're integrating like earth energies and, you know, Schumann spikes and electromagnetics, more ascension stuff with this card that will also help raise your vibration and get you energetically ready and in alignment to meet this person or come to that convergence point. So let me just check in and see if there's anything else I want to say about that one. They are saying no. So they're saying, remember, you're doing a good job. Don't stop any of the work that you're doing to work on yourself. Keep going. Know that things are shifting and things are happening. Things are happening. Whatever this relationship is that you desire, it is being worked on. It's not stuck. Because I think there's a feeling of like, well, maybe it's stuck. And the other card we didn't touch on is the Great Spirit card. It's not stuck. Source has got your back. Source is aware of your wishes, or Great Spirit or Great Mystery or God or whatever you want to call it. There is something greater that watches over us, ensuring all are safe. All your wishes, all your desires, all your manifestation intentions are well known by your guides, your spiritual team. It's all being worked on, and it's all going to be okay. So this is just a message of confirmation and reassurance, just to keep going, that you are doing fine. So that is all I have for you, Pile 1. I want to thank you so much for joining me, and I'll either see you in Pile 2 or I'll see you again in the next show. Take care. All right, friends. All right. All right. All right. All right. Hello, Pile 2. Hello, my friends. I just looked up and saw a certain number on my counter, 43 minutes and 43 seconds. Not really mirroring energy, but that's kind of a repeating 7 in a sense. But you picked Heart Love. This is the Missing You, Flutter by Girl, as your marker. And the card that just flipped out, you only got one tarot card, and that was the Six of Pentacles. So remember, the focus of this reading is what have you been blocking yourself from receiving. So Six of Pentacles is all about a giving and receiving and gifts being showered down and given out. And so let's see what your other cards are. You were the one that got like a heck ton of happy cloud cards. Okay. Oh, okay. Let's see. The first card you got is Karma from the TLC for the Soul deck. This is like a good karma card. It says love, signed love, like a contract. Your first happy cloud, I'm going to lay them all out first. Your first happy cloud is today, be here in the now. Your second happy cloud card is island time, you need to slow down. The next happy cloud is power, you are strong. The next one is fog, you don't have all the answers yet. The next one is right, release the need to be right. The next one is check in, your guides are trying to reach you. Okay. The two cards you got from the Labyrinth of Dragonshire are strong boundaries. And it's a card that just has an L on the front with like a little stick figure and a spiral. It almost looks like a gravestone. And the back of the card says, why did you leave me? So there's something about the death of something here. Twin Hearts deck, we got Dance for Me. This is a very seductive passion card. I don't know why I have a feeling that some of you are watching both piles. Twin Hearts, I want to reconnect with you. Please don't shut me out. There's more than one message coming through here. Peace Pipe. What is done is done. It's time to make amends. That's from Shaman's Drum. And you got 3 Pleiadian power cards. The first one is time to care for your own needs. Rest, self-care, and reflection are called for now. You people are all over the place. That's what's happening here. You also got the love message, Pleiadian Pick Me Up, which is, let's do this now. It says, take a deep breath. Now we're going to breathe in love and breathe out love 3 times. So breathe in love. Breathe out love. Breathe in love. Breathe out love. Breathe in love. Breathe out love. Say, I'm open to receive. The last card you got is a Pleiadian power message. We want you to know how powerful you are. You've got 3 separate messages, hence the breathing in and out 3 times. There's 3 separate messages, so I kind of want to arrange them a little bit. All right, Spirit, show me where you want me to start. The first one is a message coming through. This missing you flutterby girl is there for a reason. This is coming through from a passed on loved one trying to connect with you. So you have a couple of different cards about connecting with folks. One of them is I want to reconnect with you. Please don't shut me out. And you have check in. Your guides are trying to reach you. So some of you have a passed on loved one who wants to make amends with you. This would be someone who was in a very volatile relationship with you when they were incarnate. And now, you know, they've had some time in the other worlds to reflect a little bit. It's not necessarily reflection. They almost go into almost like a therapy room, kind of a therapy, kind of a timeout on a life review. And this person now realizes after some time, oh my God, I'm hearing that song, that Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap by AC/DC. So half of you, this is a passed on loved one. And the other half of you, this is somebody who's still in physical form, but that your guides have been trying to, there's so many messages here, that your guides have been trying to say, like, look out for this person because they're not doing you a solid, basically. So for those of you, let's just keep the messages clear. For those of you with a passed on loved one that you were in a volatile relationship with, they have passed on, or the relationship is over. then there's some forgiveness work that needs to be done. But it's almost like they're saying, don't even, if the person is not in a physical form, then certainly you can reach out to them through the 5D and you guys can do forgiveness work together on the 5D plane. That's kind of the easier one. That's pretty cut and dried. This other one is for those folks that are still in a physical body, who are the dirty deeds done dirt cheap people who kind of did you wrong. They're either still in your reality or you've released them and let them go, but there's still some work that needs to be done to release them. And they may be the ones that are coming back in, wanting to reconnect with you. Maybe we're in a Mercury retrograde right now, maybe coming back in and kind of wanting to stir things up again. And your guides are saying with multiple cards to take a time out, to love yourself first, hence this breathing in, breathing out love. Time to care for your own needs now, take care of yourself and slow down with this Island Time card. And also with this Power card, you are strong. So what are you blocking yourself from receiving? What you are doing is not receiving peace. You're blocking yourself from multiple things. If you're not willing to forgive, because we got this peace pipe card, what's done is done, it's time to make amends. If you're not willing to forgive, then you're just blocking yourself altogether from being at peace, being here in the now. Releasing the need to be right also came up. That's a big one. Being the bigger person. This has come up a lot on this spiritual journey. The more you come into your power, this Power card, the more that you are spiritually strong, the more you can build strong boundaries, then the better you are at being the bigger person. Releasing the need to be right. You don't always have to come in and be the one to one up somebody or whatever. Even if you know that they are wrong, sometimes it's just best for your own peace and peace of mind to just be the bigger person, no matter what they're saying, and just either let it go, just observe, and you'll become a better observer of like when they're doing stuff to try to get to you, or seeing their behavior for, being more selfish, like being selfish or whatever. The stronger your boundaries are and the better you are able to pull yourself out of that type of behavior, the better you are able to call it for what it is, but you don't have to call it out for what it is. So you can be like, wow, just to yourself, you can be like, wow, how did I just not see this before? How selfish this person is, or how uncaring, or whatever, clarifier you want to put on it. But you're able to see that now. But rather than get into some heated thing with them, you're just able to, pull out the peace pipe. Don't let them back in. Like, I want to reconnect with you. Please don't shut me out. No, like sometimes you have to, then maybe you don't, but sometimes if it's somebody really close to you, maybe a family member, maybe you can't completely cut them off, but you can certainly recognize their behavior for what it is. Forgive them, bless them, tighten those boundaries and not let them into your space as energetically speaking as you would before. Know when enough is enough. You're strong. You're able to take care of yourself now. And you don't have to take care of this person anymore energetically. It's time to just take care of yourself. The second part of this message is, so in that case, what you were blocking yourself from is from being at peace and just being in your own power. By not having strong enough boundaries, you were letting that person in energetically and they were just kind of coming in and mucking it all up and making things, trying to have their way with you in whatever sense of the word that may be, and really pulling you out of your power. And when it says we want you to know how powerful you are, you can turn all this around whenever you want. Okay, and if you need help doing that, then you have to seek whatever professional help or guidance you need to make you able to release yourself from this person. So if that means you have to get an attorney, or go call the police, or because I get the sense that there's different levels of types of people coming in, and that some of them, because the guys are saying some of them are possibly violent nature. And so we don't just listen to readings when that comes up, right? You have to take a physical action, and you have to put up stronger boundaries. You might have to call in professional help to help you. And you certainly, if you need help right away, shouldn't be sitting here watching a reading. You should be seeking out someone to help you remove this person from your reality. What else? Now, here's the other thing that's happening. The other thing that you were blocking yourself from before we did this healing is all the good karma that's being stacked up and stored up behind the scenes waiting to come to you. Good karma is just stuff. So for a while now, maybe you were on the down tick of the Wheel of Fortune, or the World card, right? Like everything has cycles, and you may have been kind of down where, things felt constricted or restricted. Maybe you felt like there was enough time, enough money, enough funds, enough resources, that it was very tight, being very tightly bound. And you felt like you didn't have a lot of control over that. And in a sense, you did not. It was a turn of the wheel for you, where you had to learn a little bit about being constricted and restricted, and doing with a little bit less, to know what that felt like. But now that energy is starting to lift, and so what happens too when you go into those states of not, so maybe you were receiving, like maybe you always had like all the food that you needed and you had shelter and all that, but maybe you felt like you didn't have enough funds or enough money, enough resources, they're saying, to do all the things you wanted to do. And so what happens there is it's kind of a balancing of karma. So it may have been that prior to that, you were spending a lot, like spending more than you had. You were outputting more than you were inputting. So at that point, you get to a point where you're depleted. So your funds are depleted, your resources are depleted. And because this also has to do with the law of karma, the law of reciprocity, in order for you to get back into a receptive state, you have to start doing things to build those energetic stores back up. So you may have noticed that you were starting to do maybe service work. Maybe you have your own channel on YouTube, or you have a podcast, or in the physical world, you're out doing stuff. Maybe you're volunteering. You'll notice you were guided to start doing stuff, to start building up your bank, your giving bank, so that you can get ready to receive. And you may have found that you were doing giving a lot of your free time doing stuff. All of that stuff is like earth angel stuff. All of that is service work. But in addition to it being service work, it also starts building up your energetic stores of good karma, so that when the wheel finally turns, or when the Mobius strip, I like to see it as a Mobius strip, but when you finally come from like the down on the Mobius strip back up to a high on the Mobius strip, the good karma kicks in. We release the block to receiving, and then all the good karma just magically, you feel like it's magically coming your way, but it's really been there along. And now the timing is right. The karma has to come back into balance, meaning you've given a whole bunch. Now it's time for you to receive a whole bunch. And now that you've been working on yourself, you're better able to balance the giving and receiving. You're also pretty darn aware of the fact that maybe in the past you overdid it on one side, like maybe like we talked about, spending too much. giving out, giving away too many resources to where you depleted your stores and you had to like work that back up again. And the fog card, you don't have all the answers yet, is maybe all this time you thought like it was something you did wrong. You really didn't have a good understanding of how the law of karma worked or how this whole thing of giving and receiving works, because this was your only tarot card, was the Six of Pentacles. So it's like you have to maybe do a little bit of advanced research on the law of karma, the law of reciprocity. Those are the two they're bringing up, the law of karma and the law of reciprocity, to understand how that works. Because I'm just touching on this, on the surface of it. And I think that all this time you've been thinking of it mainly from like a 3D perspective, like, wow, why did this have to happen to me? Why did I suddenly, have this? Why am I suddenly without? And why am I just feeling like I'm doing and getting nothing in return? And this has been going on for weeks or months or years or who knows how long. And it's like, okay, it's time to, as you're leveling up spiritually, it's time to get a really good understanding of like that. It's not even really a mystery teaching, but like the inner mysteries of how giving and receiving works, how the law of karma works, how the law of reciprocity works, so that you can come into balance with the whole giving and receiving thing. It's like an in-breath and an out-breath, an in-breath and an out-breath, rather than a whole bunch of exhaling, which would be like a whole bunch of, giving, and then a whole bunch of inhaling, which is a whole bunch of receiving without giving. You've got to come into a better balance with giving and receiving. So as good karma starts playing out in your life again, and you start to receive, don't forget how to balance that with giving back, and make it into a sacred flow of like, just kind of what I talked about at the beginning of this video. Like I went and bought a whole bunch of stuff this morning, and now I may not give back exactly the same way. So it may not be a tit for tat, like, okay, I spent some money, now I'm going to go give some money, although it could be like, could make a donation to charity. But today, for me, what I'm doing is like, I spent some money this morning. I got some really cool stuff. Now I'm giving back to you all tenfold, because many people are going to get these messages that might need them. And I'm making this video or this audio for you guys. So learn how to get in that flow. Because we want you to know how powerful you are. You are able to control this Mobius strip a little bit better in terms of that. Let me see if there's anything else for pile 2. All right, so that is all I have for you, pile 2. So if you listen to both piles, well, that is to be commended. Pile 2, you have a lot going on in your life, hence the need to slow down a little bit and take some time out for yourself. Really get back in tune with your guides and the guidance that's coming to you. And I think that is all I have to share. I want to thank you all for watching, listening, and we will see you again soon in the next show. Take care.